public for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. As we discussed, Justin's going to be just a few minutes late. He'll be walking in here shortly. Start with vendor claims. You guys have a chance to look over that?
I did.
We did that already. Why is it still up there? Thank you.
All right, we got vendor claims in the amount of $326,978.34.
So move.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We got payroll claims in the amount of $358,117.89.
So move.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, minutes from the March 2nd meeting.
So
Got a motion?
I'll second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opioid settlement participation. Did we have paperwork on that or something?
I don't like them.
Likely,
What?
the opioid settlement.
Oh, here. Sorry. That's something that's been being done every year and it gets us money from the state. Or from that lawsuit, I guess it is, on the opioids.
You see this?
It might be adjusted.
I'll wait till he gets.
Yeah.
We can circle back to it. Send it down.
Okay, and then we have a key approval for my new employee, Kelsey Wright.
You guys want to approve it?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then Earl Henry resigned on the CVC board, which is the Visitors Board Innkeepers Tax. And Kathy Norm put in a request to fill that last year of his appointment.
I make a motion to appoint Kathy.
I'll second.
Do we need to advertise that at all? But there's an open position.
We can, but I mean, we got that notice about Earl
Right.
3 months ago or something, 4,
Hey, I'm just bringing it up. I don't want to get caught with
right?
not giving people an opportunity. I think Kathy is fine for the position.
Right. Yeah, she's on there forever.
Say we got a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Jim.
I highlighted the amount that we did last month. Plus, we do get $4,800 from MIH. So that's not on there. It's in a different category.
4,800, you said?
There you go.
Good stuff. That's the ones we find.
That's no category, I have that now.
Plus
Is it?
MIH.
Yeah, I did forget about that.
Thank you.
Any checks, Nancy?
I'm sorry?
Did you have any checks?
goes in there. Oh, you're talking about from our elections?
Yeah.
No, we haven't got those yet. They might be in our mailbox. The post office, we didn't go from them. Well, we closed.
Other one.
Morning.
Morning.
Keeping that distance. Operationally wise, we're up and down as we go, with increase, decrease in truck transfers and in the regular 911. Good for the county residents. We keep dropping. Financially, we're holding our own. Last month, we had an increase in staffing. We went from up to 100% staff, 2 paramedics on each truck every day, which is 13% increase from the month before, which was at 87%. Transfers, we did 40 transfers out of 254 calls, which is what we did for the month. They're 15.78% of our call volume, which actually decreased. Personnel, we have no full-time opening any site right this second. One new paramedic opening is coming up. 3 new part-time employees were hired. 1 part-time paramedic was hired. 3 EMT applicants, actually it's probably 5 because I just got 2 more to look at this morning. And 1 new paramedic app for part-time and a full-time. Training. The last training we did was field triage and hand heavy app. We do that on a weekly basis now. The hand heavy app is what we use for full arrest and pediatrics. It was originally designed for pediatrics, so you don't have to second guess yourself and you've got everything right there on your phone. It's also on the computers in the truck. So it gives you every calculation for everything, age-based, weight-based. No incidents to report. Ambulance maintenance, well, 3308 came back from the new engine, was awesome. Last night, the carrier bearing in the center went out. Super quick, easy fix. But it's like,
All right,
okay. And it also came in around roughly about $2,000 under what we had approved. So that probably covered the carrier bearing. 4725, which is a transfer truck. Right now, while the other one was out, it's in bad shape. Rusted at the body mount, where if you lift up the floorboard, you can see the rust all the way on the inside. It needs to be retired. It'll come out when the next new one comes in. Right now, it's streamed back up. Joey's fixed it 3 times. He put bolts through it and plates through it, welded a plate on there so the body doesn't shift.
you only use that if you have to.
Yeah, that's actually what we sent up to Newton County.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not like it's running far or running
Right.
hard. Medic 3, everything's up to date, which is 4726. Old 514, which was the last of my Chevy diesels, is actually on the auction block right this second. So it's stripped, retired. Everything I could think of has been taken out of it. Needs a transmission. Medic 2, which is the transfer truck. Sprinter van. It was out at running 911 calls most of the time. The other one was out. The new one, 84, which took the place of the old 84. Current mileage 651 miles. Great truck. Well built. It's in service in North Judson. Next new one will go down to Grovetown because it's just a hair shorter. And we got room down there. Grovetown in 20 years that I know of has never happened to any truck. So the plan is now to rotate once a month, rotate them all around, keep the miles down. Old 84, which is out of service indefinitely. It's the next one to be used as a remount. Which is Probably has the most beautiful interior in the back, quick, easy remount. Chase car. It's running great, fully in service. My car, it says awaiting service appointment, it's already been done. I've done it Friday. 514, which is the one that we just sent over to get, has been redesignated number, so if you see that again, that is the current MIH car, which is that shop getting, waiting for final approval on the logo. The logo is, it's gonna resemble kind of like a dare car. We've been throwing 4 or 5 different ideas around. It's very well lit, very well, it represents all the school districts also. It'll have the Bobcat, the Blue Jay, and the Redskin on.
So when that gets back, you'll be ready to put it in service.
Oh, yeah, right now I'm using my card and ambulance running NIH cars,
Okay.
NIH cars. Base maintenance. Everybody.
Now, real quick on the vehicles. Last meeting, we talked about getting some pricing because of the lead time to order up a new one.
About 50.
Have you had a chance to dig into that at all?
Yeah, I got another guy building those specs. The first quote I got was 350,000. And I wouldn't get it till 2028, maybe early 2020. It'll be custom built. I got 2 other people I'm calling. I'm going down to FDIC to look at the new ambulances they have down there. Apparently they have new ones with airbags in the back of them now for rollovers.
That's a good idea.
So, I mean, it's,
While you're checking, you might look for the remount.
Yeah.
That'd be a quick, easy one for us, cheaper.
if they could take that one and put it on 4-wheel drive.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
yeah, maybe
that
look
would be
into
perfect.
that.
Base maintenance. All the air quality samples have come back. They've been returned and found inconclusive. There is no black mold in those bases.
And none of them,
None.
none of,
What they did recommend is heavily cleaning, have a professional service come in and clean the vents. And deep cleaning in the base of each one of them. Medic 1 in North Judson has been deep cleaned and I went up there with sticky notes, said, clean here, specific instructions on every wall. So they know that everything needs to be clean. Medic 3 had mold that they found in it, but it was surface mold from when the window was leaking and it went into the cabinet. And basically someone laid cardboard down in the cabinet and that whole section turned into a little mold.
So do we need to hire a company to come in and deep clean these bases?
Yeah, I'm working on prices now.
Okay.
The further remediation, wait on the estimates for it now. Medic 1, I know it says no issues at this time. During the tornado, before I wrote this, after I wrote this, the tornado came through and it caught the door apparently, and it racked the door sideways where the door is having a major issue closing. Asked Rick if he could go up and take a look at it today, see what he thought, if it can be straightened, if it can be, has to be replaced.
Okay.
That's just a man door. Then he also told me there's new man doors over at the county garage that are going on the auction. So,
yeah, figure that out today.
yeah. Then, back to Grovertown. Got a phone call 11 o'clock last night. The entire wall outlets are not working in the base, which is gonna require some electrical work. So I don't know what it is. I told Mark was not coming down there 11 o'clock. I
Right.
to test it. But I'm going down today. But the entire, both bedrooms, not one outlet's working. I sent them out to check the GFIs. Because that place is wired kind of goofy.
Mm.
And the GFI, or none of them were tripped. I even sent them to the one outside in the middle of the rain. Medic 3, just getting some mild upgrades. Guy's doing it. He's actually an employee. And he is almost ready for paint and lights. I mean, who's taking care of all that out of our budget here and there?
Okay.
Good. I mean, it's starting to look really nice. Equipment updates. 47, 76, 84 and 85 are the primary ambulance in service. 4725 is only for non-emergents, which we already covered that. It's due for retirement. Two old units, 84 is broken and retired. 514 is broken and retired, placed in the auction. They're both sitting at the county garage. 3308's back. New ambulance went into service as of 2/25/2026. And with us being short, that was the quickest I'd ever turned that around. It was less than a week. The new remount, late March, I do have pictures of it. It came out of the paint shop and the interior is being reassembled at me. Grants, I just got a $25,000 grant from Northern Indiana Community Foundation for the MIH program. First IDHS grant was for 40,000.
You mind touching a little bit on MIH, so the public knows what that is?
Mobile Integrated Health. It's a community paramedicine program where we will go out, try to keep some of the recurrent patients that go back and forth to the hospital. We do opioid, we do opioid testing, we do substance abuse counseling, we do chronic disease management. Basically, if you call, we'll come check you out and advise you how you want, whether you need to go to the
So
hospital.
you'll go to their house instead of taking them to the hospital,
We will
you
go to
guys
the
can
house.
check them.
We can do flu shots. We're partnered up with HealthLink, whereas their telehealth program, if they'd have a patient, we have, it's like 600 pounds, can't get out of the house. We go down there, hook their computer up and basically do what the doctor wants to do. This is the up and growing program. And in my infinite wisdom, I took 4 counties. So we have no boundaries, but I was in a meeting Friday at a hospital in Pulaski. And Pulaski is one of the counties that we took over, and they're trying to do a wellness check on their patients afterwards, which is a follow-up. And they're very, very interested in this program. How we get it on. We get paid pretty decently for it, because it's covered by Medicare. So every time we go out there, we've got 6 patients that we deal on a regular basis right now. And I just actually started promoting it. When the car comes back, it'll be basically unveiled at the county fair. And with blood pressure screenings and community CPR classes, and we also do prenatal, postnatal care visits, home inspections. So I've got people out being trained on how to do the majority of everything else. We got plenty of MIH grant money right now to spend on training or whatever we need it for.
Thanks.
The first Department of Homeland Security grant was for 40,000. And apparently the second grant, we asked for 50,000. We got awarded something, but she won't tell me what it was just yet. But I know 38 people applied out of the state, and the 38 people had $1.7 million to split. Some of them asked for 14,000. I asked for 50,000, which was the max. We have a very short window to spend it. I got 30 days once the contract comes in, it's approved. The thing with these MIH grants is it's a purchase first, and then you submit it. You get your submit your invoice to MIH to the state. Then they turn around in 2 weeks, cut your check back to you. So that's the only downfall to that whole program. It's not automatic. You just don't get 40,000 right off the bat. You got to spend it to get it back. No new donations, t-shirts, still everything's in good standing. Couple other things I had up on the desk is the breakdown of exactly where the money comes into. What runs we've done total and what we have coming in split by the transfers. Also, for your guidance and reading, we need to update our standard operating guidelines. One of the major changes, what we took out is procedures. Procedures are cut in stone, guidelines and guidelines. So we changed the wording around a lot of that. We added a lot of new stuff in there too, like crime scene investigations, what to do, what to not do. Transfer policies, stuff like that.
So you already redone them, you just.
Oh, yeah, I just need you guys to go over it and
Yeah, I looked through it.
get
This
the
week.
signatures. That way I can implement it on the first. I had a company come in from, it's called Combined. It was a Chubb company, which is part of Warren Buffett's. It's just like Aflac, except for half the price and better coverage. Some things with Aflac, you get one payment and done. These people will go up to 3 payments for that. Covers everything Aflac does, and they're 40 to 60% cheaper, and they would like to come in and speak. And I told them, I said, they're not coming in until you guys have a chance to look at it. They offer life insurance and everything else. Regular insurance, whatever you need. Last but not least. My vacation time's about being up and can't get out most of the time. March 25th. Want to take off for a couple of days. June 2nd to 5th, the ship captains are going to a retreat. Basically, it's a camping getaway. To figure out other stuff. And then the 17th to the 28th, my son's getting married on the East Coast. So if that's okay with you guys. I've got all the bases covered, so.
Yeah. If you don't mind, send me a text on them dates.
So the tornado, we got really lucky. We were out till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. It bounced in San Pierre, bounced down and came back up. And I think that was our saving grace.
And you did send a rig to
Oh, yeah.
Lake Village for
There's
volunteer.
another letter that's up there thanking us for going up there with some information I have to fill out. I got a phone call the next morning asking if we could send a rig up. Fine, it was a volunteer rig, sent it up there, you guys approved it. The next morning, I got a phone call from the state asking if we could send up for the next couple of days. So we did. She said, well, just give me your price. It's $450 an hour. We get paid for every time we were there, which I said we were doing it out of the kindness of our heart. She said, yeah, but we open the EOC money. If the transfer companies have sent theirs down there, you guys should get paid too.
You know,
I'm like, so.
so first day was volunteer and
First
the
day.
people volunteer.
Well, now let's go. Yeah, first day people volunteered.
Yeah.
So I mean, the actual operating cost of a BLS ambulance is about $300 an hour, between 185 and 300, depends on what they're doing. So. Any other question?
No, I'm not. Well, good.
Sorry, it took up more time than.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, about the opioid thing.
Justin, did you see what we passed down to you there?
I said that to you guys, resume, and you.
Well.
I said that, Elaine, I don't know whether they qualify, but it doesn't hurt to kind of opt in. So how are you guys gonna take a vote and see if we opt them? Excuse me. It's like 400 pages long, the settlement, and when I look up one of the exhibits, it puts all the agreements across all the different states that are potentially candidates for it. I didn't see ours, but it got sent to us, so I don't know if that meant that we could potentially opt in and be added to the exhibit or not, but it doesn't hurt to vote to opt in, and then if there is money for us, but it would take an opt-in vote, so.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Do they have to sign that? I think.
Yeah, there was signatures. I think it was maybe just one signature.
That's exhibit G,
Yeah,
I think just like.
I'll make a motion out then.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Gwen, would you mind turning the fan on the furnace to keep some fresh air coming in here? Michael, or sorry, Mikey?
You almost got my spot, right?
One,
Good morning. How are you guys doing today? Everyone safe on your ride into town? It's kind of crazy.
yes, it was.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak again today. In February 2026, the Starke County Economic Development Foundation continued advancing key economic and workforce initiatives while completing the transition to our new office location. The move was successfully finalized and I'd like to give some special recognition to Tara for leading the transition and ensuring a smooth relocation. A major focus this month was business engagement and workforce development. The team conducted a successful business retention and expansion visit with Hill Excavating, strengthening relationships with local industry and identifying opportunities to support existing employers. Additionally, the Funding Your Business Workshop was hosted on February 26th, providing valuable information and resources to entrepreneurs and small businesses in our community at free of cost. Workforce development efforts also progressed through collaboration with Ivy Tech Community College and our Workforce Development Committee. A recent training survey that we got 152 responses revealed strong interest in workforce skill development, particularly in entrepreneurship, marketing, customer service, and Microsoft 365. Based on these results, potential training initiatives are being explored, including Excel and co-pilot training, and HVAC bootcamp, and a local CDL certification opportunities. Discussions also included early childhood education micro-credential programs, which could help expand childcare capacity in supporting the development of certified childcare providers, which we are a childcare desert. Two economic development projects are continuing to move forward. We have Project Lindback Meat. We're in the late initial stage. You'll see that I crossed out permitted because we are still permitting that right now. I just want to say they're investing 2.9, they're proposing to invest $2.9 million into our community. They initially will be bringing 10 to 12 jobs with 20 to 30 overall. Low entry skill paid will be getting $18 to $20, with their high skill meat processors getting as high as $34 an hour, which is $12 over our county average wage. Project Power On is currently in its my second project is currently in its preliminary phases. It's exploring suitable building space for operations and to house materials. We had stakeholder engagement remained active this month, including our continued collaboration with Ivy Tech and discussions with SURF Internet executives about expanding our fiber infrastructure within the county. Looking ahead to March, our priorities include Shark Tank sponsorship outreach and applicant recruitment, participating in the Power Up Indiana Workforce Summit, and providing a legislator update. And we're hosting a Build Your Business pitch. Overall, February focused on strengthening partnerships, supporting workforce development initiatives, and maintaining forward momentum on key economic development projects. I'm really looking forward to my March update with you guys because I should have some great information on the Power Up Indiana, which is a program that the governor is putting on down at the state, and the legislator update that I'll be able to give you guys. So, do you guys have any questions for me?
Who's doing the HVAC boot camp?
Ivy Tech. We're in talks with Ivy Tech to do that.
They're gonna come down here.
Yes,
Oh, that's great.
yes.
And the CDL training?
So right now that is looking, we have a talk at the end of the month where hopefully we can get them to come here. But right now they have co-pilot in LaPorte that they do CDL training. They have 8 spots that are available per session. They usually start one every month around like the 1st or the 5th, is usually depending on how the days fall. And then they'll run for a 6-week course, Monday through Friday.
Right.
Yes, so I got to talk with the co-pilot director the other day at a workforce meeting. And I'm inviting her to come here to talk with our workforce development committee to see if they can bring that program here, because we have a desperate need for it in all sectors. I mean, you could look at, there's just so many sectors that need CDL drivers right now that having that program here would be phenomenal, and we're in need of it. So it's something
Sure.
that I'm really going to try.
Are you looking at a one-time program or
No.
maybe coming down and doing it multiple times a year?
Yeah, multiple times a year, because I don't think since the class can only fit 8 people at a time, I think we have way more need than 8 people. So, and I wouldn't want to exclude anyone that wants the opportunity to be able to better themselves. So I would request that they do it more. We wouldn't just do it one time. I mean, if that's all we can get, that's all we can get, and I'll take it. But I'm going to be pushing for 4 times in the rest of the year.
Wonder if that's something that Rachel should be involved with.
Maybe after she does the talk with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
I think she would, I think it's a good.
Yeah.
I think that's what she was thinking, counting, county
Yeah.
garage and.
Schools. Schools, I mean, they're in desperate need of I know all 3 county schools are in desperate need of bus drivers, so. County Highway Department, and really anyone else that you have that you suggest, I would totally include in on that meeting with us. County forward. So if there's nothing else, I'll get out of your hair.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
Jake? Doing.
Good. You bring it up. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Elizabeth Wallen. This is Jake McIntyre. We are from
I'm
the
sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Elizabeth Wallen. And we're from the Knox Middle School PTO. And we are running a fundraiser right now where we are trying to build an outdoor space for playing and teaching outside of our middle school. Our middle school is the 2nd largest school in the county. We have about 500 students in grades 5 through 8. And right now we don't have anything outside for them. We just turn them out onto a parking lot. But we are trying to raise this money, and if we raise $50,000 by April 1st, we have a grant in place that will match those funds, giving us $100,000. We sent a survey to the students and teachers to see how they would use the space and what they would really like to see out there, and got those results back. And it's been a nice community thing where we have been having families bring in recyclables that will be used to make the benches and picnic tables that will be used under the pavilion out there. It'll be a great thing to have some fitness and options to take a break off of their devices when they go outside. The teachers have said that they would use the space for teaching, a good time to get the kids out of the classroom. And we've also been hosting some community events the last few years, like a block party every year. And this year we started a trunk or treat, and we don't have any facilities out there at all. So to have a space, and this would be open to the public as well. So we are coming to you with a one-time request of $1,500 to contribute to our fundraising effort. We are right now at about $34,000
Yeah,
raised.
it's about 35.
And we have until April 1st to get to $50,000 to activate that matching grant,
Gotta be done by April 1st. I mean, you
the
gotta be.
fundraising.
Yeah, to activate the $50,000 matching grant, we have to have 50,000 raised by that date. So that's what we're aiming for. It's looking good. I think we're on target, but still have a little ways to go. So any assistance you guys could provide would be appreciated. Like she said, it's open to the public after school hours. So community can use the space. We do have community events that are open to community. So
So it's not strictly for the school. I mean, the
Correct.
public could use
Yeah.
that.
it'll be partially fenced to kind of create a little boundary, but it will be open to the public. And those community events are nice. We have food trucks
Yeah.
come the last couple of years,
We have a
so
really big
it'd
turnout
be nice to have an outdoor space, picnic tables and seating. So
and shade
yeah,
when we turn those
Yeah.
kids out
Right now,
during the day.
there's nothing out there, so it'll be good. Teachers are excited, kids are excited, trying to get them involved in the project. So yeah, and we're just parents, so we're just the PTO, working closely with teachers and staff to get input, but parents are really running this project. So
So the cost estimate for this is 100,000?
Yes, so overall, we've got $100,000 for play equipment, pavilion, picnic tables, and then installation of the play equipment. We're using some local contractors as volunteers for concrete work and pavilion construction and excavation. So
Did you folks already approach the city of Knox?
yes, the city of Knox is in for $1,500 and they get an engraved brick that'll be placed in the pavilion area. We are looking to do construction this summer, so we're on track. If we hit our goal, the full project will be done this summer before next school year. If we don't hit our complete goal, we'll still do the pavilion and the engraved bricks to recognize donors and that.
Everything on this picture, Jake, is that
Yeah,
100,000, I mean, you get all this for the 100.
yes, just kind of a full image of what the space will look like, but that's all $100,000. And I have a copy of my budget in the
That's right.
backpack, but play equipment's not cheap, found out. But yeah, some swings. We do have fifth graders in the building now at the middle school, and they're going to be staying there. So those are 10-year-olds. So it's a little play equipment will be nice for them. Not trying to do a whole jungle gym, but
Mikey, have you seen this?
No.
Do you have an extra copy with you?
yeah, and we talked to Tara about it. So we mentioned it to Tara. Yep. But yeah, anything you guys can do to help them, we appreciate it.
You say not. Also did 1,500,
Yeah,
the town.
yeah. City of Knox, talk with Dennis.
Jake, maybe getting a brick for that.
Yeah, so for the 1,500, you'll get kind of a standard size brick engraved with whatever we decide. Whatever you decide.
I make a motion to go with the 1,500.
So if you don't get to 50,000, you don't get the matching grant.
Right. So we have to scale the project back. Right now, we have about 35,000. That'll be enough to do the pavilion and I think add the engraved bricks would still happen. The play equipment.
So even if you don't get to 50, you'll still move forward. There'll
We'd
be
still move
something
forward
else.
with the
And
pavilion.
then try again.
Picnic tables. Yeah.
Donnie, you including what fund you want that out of, Cume Cap, edit,
Team cap, I would say.
Cume Cap?
I'll second Don's motion.
Well, we got a motion and a second. And this was for 1,500.
Yep. That's what you asked for, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good amount. The engraved brick, get the names up there.
The only thing that concerns me about this is if they can get a matching grant for 50. They only have another week and a half to hit 50.
Right.
We do have a lot of feelers out to other businesses and
We're fairly confident we're gonna hit the
right,
50,000.
based on talks.
All right.
Yeah,
I just wonder if we shouldn't bump it up a little bit to help them get closer, because to miss out on 50,000.
Right. I'm good.
What are you thinking, Mike?
you have the levels.
It's the second
Right.
page, yeah. The different kind of giving recommendations, but any amount we can do,
Any would be amazing.
anything in between those.
And you say you've reached out to local contractors and
Yes, so we've got Hill Excavating donating all his time, Jeremiah for any excavation services, Thad Beecham for concrete work, bricklaying. So they're volunteering their service there.
Mike, you got any suggestions for them?
Get one of your cards or you don't have cards, but let's talk after the meeting or I'll walk out.
Yeah, we've gone through a long list we've got a lot of community involvement. Community Foundations donated 10,000. Hoosier Solar's 5,000. The other big ones, REMC, we went to them for a grant for 5,000 that was approved. There's still more rolling in, so. Feeling good about it.
If you happen to go over that, would they give you more?
No, so
Don't
yeah,
50.
so if we were to raise 55, we would
That's
only
right,
get
yeah.
50,000
Okay.
as the match, so we'd have like 105. But we plan to put all these funds into this project. The teachers have other ideas for the space too, so
Mhm.
Right.
anything we go over, we'll definitely go through this project.
Have you guys approached all the solar companies?
Haven't, Mary Perrin was going to reach out to Darrell.
So he's sitting right.
Okay, I was gonna say. So,
Mike's gonna call him out.
Well, I'd like to see them get to that 50.
I mean, big,
Yeah.
Would pretty much complete their project, it sounds like.
right? And we don't have another meeting before their end goal.
Yeah.
Are
Coming
you-
up fast.
Are you thinking 5 or not that much?
Well, there, you say, how much was your bucket right now?
34 and change, I think, 34,000.
So really, you're about 15,000 short.
I haven't checked it this morning.
And this would be
I'm gonna say
open
it's a little
for
higher.
all the community?
Yeah, so it would be open for anyone to use, and the middle school there would be the back parking lot, there's a grass area, so it's kind of residential, it's a nice idea that. You know, the people in that area might use it,
Our current total is 37,232.
That's a little higher than what.
Yeah.
That'd be what, 12,758?
had a couple checks come in, we had class of 2009 donate. 1,600 for a brick, so
Which was such a nice idea to
Yeah.
pull their money and get a brick.
different alumni.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about just covering? It's a lot more than what we normally do. but
Right.
Hate to see them miss out on the grant and fall just a little bit short.
Like I said, we've got some other donations coming in. I hate to say, like, we don't want more and more, but.
Understand, we got a hand up back here.
Danny.
So how much short are they? Well,
12,758.
yeah, I know, our motion as a city, we give them the 1,500. And then evaluate how close they get, give more. And so if you guys wanna split it, we'll split it, make up the balance so we can get the 50 grand.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Why don't we do
Make
that?
that motion.
Development, we have 1,500 as well.
So put that together and tell us.
Yeah. Well, so you're saying splitting the difference.
So
Well,
the difference minus 1,500.
Yeah, that's what I said, Mikey give you 15, what that go to your total?
Okay, so that 1,500, is that gonna pass and then do a step?
We ain't finished.
together?
Okay, so what's
Crunching numbers.
our outstanding?
About $5,000 each.
Pretty close, yeah. So did you run the numbers? So we.
No, that's that. My forte.
So,
Where are we at? 37,2. So. We're 12,800 short, like you said.
Minus 1,500.
15 from. Yeah, so that's 11,3. 5650 would be the split. You wanted to do 5 each?
Dennis, it would be 5650.
That includes your guys' initial 1,500.
No, that we stopped it before we jumped into it.
They've already done 1,500.
why don't we do the 1,500, but approve it up to 56 if they don't reach it? So they don't have to come back to us. Is that possible?
Sure.
Up to the half, like Dennis saying, then we'll get the, that way they don't have to wait, because our meeting won't be before they need it.
Well, what if we just do 7,000?
I was gonna say 6,500.
And that would cover, like Dennis was saying, the 15 we were
Yeah.
talking about.
Let's just do, yeah.
And then if they jump in and then if other people donate, you'll get a little
Yeah.
extra for.
So I'll recall my motion and Charlie will,
Yeah.
Mike make one.
So it was 7, right? Is that what we're going with?
Seems like that would probably work.
I'll make a motion that we approve 7,000. Out of Cume Cap.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Amazing. Thank you, guys.
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
so exciting.
Want to keep that in your name? Yeah. All right, thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Great. I'll keep you updated.
Thanks.
Do you guys need any paperwork from us, or are you gonna get with Mike or Michael involved?
Yeah, get with Michael Lane, then we can get it submitted.
Right.
Well,
Okay, discussion on capital improvement plan.
I think we definitely need one. We've been talking about it for years, but I don't think we can do it today, but I think we need to get one in place.
Yeah, start setting stone, get that done.
How would we go about trying to work on that?
I don't know if That's somebody with something we would have to hire a firm to do that. Lay it out.
Like the end with Bill and when he cuts in. I don't know how many years, the sheriff's department's 10 years old now, I believe. This bill,
I wonder if it's something we would need to create a committee for or something.
Well, that'd be
Good. Capital improvement plan, I've never done one, I've seen several of them. I don't think it has to be anything overly I mean, you guys can get as complicated as you want, if you really want to go in depth, but I think that the concern, at least from a couple members on the council's perspective, was the State Board of Accounts was gonna want to see a capital improvement plan at some point. So I think we're overdue for one. So I think that's the more pressing concern, is just getting something in writing. And again, you guys can expand on it as much as you want.
So should we set up maybe a separate meeting and invite some department heads to kind of discuss where we're at currently?
Yeah,
Because we can
try
try to get Rachel.
trying to think, yeah,
Right.
what all we need done. Rick, have him here.
Right. You guys want to do like a Friday afternoon type of thing?
yeah, that's fine.
Michael, you want to try to put something together? Invite department heads? Do you want to invite elected as well?
One, yeah, one, or,
Yeah. Okay. Rick?
There to talk about the elevator at the old jail, the one south side. Since I've been here, we have quite a few problems with that because all the moisture and stuff it gets all the time. Last time they was here, they replaced the relay, replaced the rectifier, and now the circuit board's out of it because of moisture in the wiring, burnt some wiring. And the circuit board's around 3,000 to 6,000. So I didn't know if you guys want to keep on putting money into it or replace it with another one. And if you replace it with another one, you give me a kind of a quote of 45,000.
how much is fix it?
It's gonna be around 8. So that's give or take, and I cannot find one at this point right now,
How often does this thing get inspected?
once a year.
When was the last time we redid the board?
Before my time,
Okay.
I've never replaced the board now.
I know you mentioned something about building like something over it.
If we do replace it or whatever, even though, but I like to put a shed or something around it to keep it out of moisture, because that's the biggest problem with it. It gets all the moisture and it goes down and, you know, wire gets wet and starts creating heat and burns.
Do you think?
I think we fix it for now.
Yeah,
45 is quite a bit.
yeah.
We gotta have it. I mean, we definitely gotta have it. I said we go with the.
You got a hard quote for that, or was it just somebody?
No, it just right now, he's not been able to find one for the exact amount, so he didn't give me a quote yet. He said anywhere from 3 to 6 is what he's seeing. So actually, depending on which board it is, depends on the reference number on the board.
It's currently out of commission.
Yes.
What'd you say, Julie, every winter?
Yeah, it's down all the time.
We're gonna wait and get some quotes.
I think so, yeah. I mean, if it goes down every winter, that's not good.
Yeah, it's been down about it all the time since I've been here.
Get the quotes and see what if there's any way we can fix that one or whatever. You know, where it's not gonna go down, so we fix it now, if it goes down next winter, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting old from being outside in the weather, and so I'd say if we do put a new one in there, we need to put like a roof,
Mhm.
something to protect it.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying, that.
So,
Figure all that up, but you would need to do that.
well, I could do part of it.
Yeah.
Depends on how much we wanna do, if we wanna build all the way around it,
Mhm.
or just put a roof on it.
I'd probably build all the way around.
Yeah, because the salt that we put on the walkway,
Right,
you know, goes right down,
Mhm.
down on it,
Yeah.
so. But as soon as I get quotes, I guess I can bring them back, and so that way we got a better.
Mhm.
figure out what it costs for you to build the thing around.
I did get hold of Otis. They, it's 100,000 for a brand new one with them. But they're wanting to take everything, all the guts out of this one and redo the inside of it only. All
Still
electrical.
100,000?
That 45,000.
Do we want to table it until we can get more quotes?
Yeah, I think let it get some more,
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I just wanted to.
but the sooner the better, so we ain't without.
Do we want a motion to table?
I'll make that motion.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
One more thing on gut deals. The tractors right now is up to 12,000. I know I'm not gonna accept it, but is there, still wanna go 15,000
how many,
Right.
how long do we got?
till the 19th?
I'd say we'll.
I'm not gonna do it now. I'm just saying at the very end, if you
Yeah.
guys wanna take, you know,
I think
I'd say, yeah, I'd say leave it. Yeah.
okay.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, thank you.
Second gut.
Check.
For our capital improvement meeting, can you copy her on that as well?
Would you be willing to do that,
Yes,
Mike?
I would. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, City of Knox, assuming that's Dennis and Lonnie.
Something's up when we see Danny. I said something's up when we seen you come in the door.
Yeah. Certificate sale. We have a piece of property that we have investment in, 6 North Pearl Street. Basically, we've been, it's been under code enforcement since about 2017, 18. 6, 7, 8 years. What we would like to do is for you to, which is allowable, I believe, sell the certificate to us instead of going through the sale.
So you could recoup your money.
Well, it's not only that.
Yeah.
The only way we can recoup it is basically she redeems it. Anybody, if it goes out on the public certificate sale, if she redeems it, then we recoup our money. If they don't, then the buyer doesn't have to pay us.
And then you.
But that's not, but the advantage of us taking possession of that, and hopefully she's got a tendency, this owner, to redeem. It's been twice she's done it. This time she didn't do it from the tax sale. She didn't redeem it. Hopefully,
Can't redeem our certificate sale. Once it's sold, it's sold. You cannot redeem our certificate sale. You can only redeem tax sale.
right,
So she has no.
Right,
she has no
if
chance of coming back and taking it back.
yeah, if somebody,
Unless she bids on it.
yeah, if somebody else would buy it, then we're done.
Two bids right now.
We sell it. You still, the city don't get the money.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, and the reason why we would like it is because then we can control the future of that house, because I think if it goes up for certificate sale, once they get in there, I think it's gutted. They better have over 100-some thousand to make it habitable, because that's what it's gonna take. If we get it, we're probably we got 2 options. Either we can sell it, auction it off, but we can make them have a performance bond, guaranteed that they have the financial means to make it habitable, which that's what we'd want. If we can't get it sold, then we can get a grant to demo it. But this has been a long haul with this house, and it's going nowhere, and I can see somebody buying it and walking into it after, if they did get it, and looking at it, and
You say it does have bids currently?
I have 32 registered bidders for March 24th, which was an online certificate sale through SRI. That was of last week. We still have a week and a half to go for people to register to bid. I know there are lots of liens on the property from the city.
That's what I'm gonna
Which,
say.
yeah, which I understand, which makes it hard for someone to buy the property back or to pay the liens off. So as of right now, it is on their certificate sale because no one has sale. But since it's on their certificate sale, the owner cannot come back and redeem the property. They don't have a year to redeem it, like if it's a tax sale. Once it's sold, it's sold.
But no matter who bought the building or whoever buys it,
Whoever buys it does not pay back that money.
that the city's own.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're over about 30 grand.
13,200.
But what are the,
And-
what's that? It's just-
Special, liens for non-compliance.
So they don't, you don't have money invested in it other than your time and drawing up paperwork,
You got time, paperwork, years of
right?
court,
Public hearing.
you know, public
meetings
hearings.
with them.
But no actual dollars being spent like for,
Well, if you want to count the meetings, every hearing that we've had over that, a house, every meeting that we've, you know,
And attorney
we've got a lot of
costs.
attorney costs. We've got money. We got money. But the thing is, I think the money is, what's more important is we would have better access, the city, to make it habitable or to have it tore down. We'd rather have somebody come in there and make it happen. Put it back on the tax, you know.
can the city buy it at the certificate sale?
Yes. They can register and bid.
So, of course, you know, I represent the city, so disclose my conflict, but I did do a little bit of research. Yeah, Kelly's right. The city could bid at the auction. There is another mechanism by which I think, don't quote me on this because it's not set in stone, but there's another mechanism by which I think the county could sell it to the city prior, but the city would have to set up, and don't, again, this is not the exact term, it's called like an urban housing authority. So the city would have to set up like an urban housing authority via ordinance in order to purchase a piece of property or certificate like this, because I think there's a carve out when you're talking about certificate sales that allow them to do that in order to rehab or do what they're proposing to do. So, yeah, there, and again, that would take some follow-up research on my part, but from what I found, because I did talk to the maker about it last week. I think that's another avenue that you guys can go through if city wanted to buy it prior to the sale. I just have to look more into what that would look like.
I thought in the past, we bought off certificate and all we did was a resolution. Either we did or
Establishing that
county
urban
did.
housing authority you're talking about, Mayor, that could have been, you could have been establishing that urban housing authority that you're talking about when you guys go. And again, obviously there's a conflict, so double check my research, don't quote me on it, but I think that is another avenue. If you didn't want to take it to commissioner's sale.
What kind of lien? Oh, go ahead.
what's the county gonna be out? Kelly,
Just back taxes, but they're gonna be out of that anyway, no matter who buys it. We don't get it back at certificate sale.
I just, cause
It
I'm
will be
looking
out.
upstairs.
There you go.
You can redeem from a certificate sale, so she can redeem it. She has 120 days.
That's what I thought.
What we've done in the past, we haven't done this since like 2019, but we let the city come in ahead of time. You are assigning the certificate to them for the minimum bid, which is, I think, $150. They won't even have to bid on it. They will just take possession or take the lien for $150. She can still redeem for 120 days. And then if she doesn't, they have to go through the normal process, tax order through the court. But they wouldn't bid on it at the sale.
so either way, we're gonna be out our taxes.
Right, unless it gets bidded on at the tax sale and we sell it for 30 grand. Instead of the 150 that it starts at. That's just an opening bid. $150 is the opening bid.
When we change it where we didn't it used to always go to the, I mean, you at least offered it before the county sold it.
No, but we used to be, if any of the public entities, City of Knox, Hamlet, Coons Lake, if anybody had a lien on it.
Right.
Before the actual certificate there, we would offer it to them for the minimum bid to protect their lien. County.
When did we change that?
Just recently, they asked, I think actually this property one time before, and we denied it, but now it's just getting out of control. To where like she's redeeming it and then she's not following through on anything that she needs to do.
I can tell you she lives in California.
And she finally gave up on one of her other properties
So-
and stopped redeeming now.
Just to give you an idea, I'm suing her on behalf of the city, but we've not had good service on her. I filed a complaint for the city under the enforcement probably back in late summer, Lonnie, and we just can't get good service on her. So,
All I know.
Well,
is
she's got another house, that here in
We're
the,
in the,
oh, she. Put it this way, back 17 when she bought them both at tax sale. But she bought a lot of properties in other counties and she's been in trouble. Every county that she's bought a house.
so she bought that long ago and never done nothing with it at the.
Well, she started on 6 North Pearl was one that we're asking. She started, got ripped off by the contractor and then totally quit. She doesn't answer any of her mails, anything. So like I said, she is from California, so
When did you say that certificate sale is?
The 24th
Of
Of March.
this month?
Yeah.
So,
next week,
yeah, next week.
next Tuesday.
like I said, commissioners has always cooperated with the cities and the towns.
That's why I was asking Suzanne when they changed that.
Yeah,
I didn't know they ever voted on this topic.
Could we just leave it in the certificate sale and if there's no bids, revisit it?
Then it has to go
She's
through the
got
sale process
bids.
all over again.
Yeah.
You only have between the time of the regular sale and the certificate sale to assign the certificate.
Only thing I got against that, I mean, if we're doing that, we're not even like watching out for the city where they watch it, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah.
well, it's a blight, you know, the house is a total blight. And it's been abandoned and like I said, somebody buys that, buyer beware, because when they walk inside, they're going. It's got it. It's got it.
And obviously it's under the Indiana unsafe because of the, health, safety and welfare. You know, it's not a safe property. If somebody was to go in there. Obviously, if you're familiar with the unsafe law, protect against squatters. We've been fortunate enough not to have squatters in there. Have it burnt down, and obviously if a fire is put there. It's dangerous to neighbors.
You know, like I said, if somebody else buys it and walks in there and decides to walk away, then we're starting this process. Here we go again. You know, I think it's time for this to come to an end, and I think by the city acquiring it, it will come to an end.
I think we should move with the city, get it back.
I do too.
That motion?
I'll make that motion
We're gonna be out either way, whichever way we do it.
What did you make a motion?
that the city gets this,
Can redeem it.
yeah.
Now, is there any legal that we need to do that maybe we have to hire Nathan for?
so on their end, they'll need to pass a resolution, because I think I talked about, and Mayor alluded to it too, a resolution to establish that. The ability to do it. I think it just takes a vote on your guys' part. Suzanne may,
To sign.
Yeah, it's just, they're just deciding.
it predated me the last
So
time you
now
guys
we
did
need to
this.
sign it in front of a notary.
But
Denny, what's the address of this property?
6 North Pearl.
yeah, I don't think you
Are we
guys need a
finished?
resolution. I think you just can do it by vote, and then you'll need a signature, so a vote and then somebody to sign for. Who's gonna sign it for the commissioners to assign it, and again, just disclosing my conflict for the third time, so.
That's,
We're not gonna file a complaint.
No, I just,
that's why I'm bringing up, I wonder if we have to ask Nathan, you know, because
sure, sure, if you, excuse me, it's not a bad idea if you just wanna confirm with him.
Just kind of cross the T's and dot the I's, we don't have an issue later,
Sure.
but then we don't really have time for that, that's.
I was just gonna say, we'll go with the motion, Charlie, as long as you don't come up with conflict from Nathan,
You know,
I think, then we can move forward with it.
so should we reach out to him, you think? I think we're good.
Want me to send him an email for you guys, send him an email, CC you all on it, and just
Yeah,
say double
do it.
check my math here.
Yeah,
That'd probably be a good idea.
yeah,
Right, but I mean, we could go by the email
Right.
on if we move forward. I think we should move forward with the motion.
Well, wait, a motion,
Approved by Nathan, Charlie. I second.
second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Yes.
Young man.
Thank you, sir.
thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Sean?
Good morning, everybody. How you doing today?
Good. There's several of your people here. Do they need to be involved with this and come up or?
No, sir, not that I'm aware of. No, this is a
Okay.
very I appreciate you asking. This is a very simple request. The request, and I believe you all would have received this previously via email, but it's for our grant application for fiscal year 2026 for the Indiana Department of Correction. Historically, we are required per statute IC 11-12-2-3 to present this to the county commissioners, and it's a requirement per the law before we complete our application request and send it to the Department of Correction. And as you can see in our letter to the commissioners, we are requesting from the Department of Correction $3,026,302 for fiscal year 2026. So what I'm respectfully requesting today is the commissioners make a motion, approve the request. It costs nothing to the county, and hopefully sign this at your convenience so we can complete our application and send it to the Department of Correction within the required time frames.
What is it you need us to sign?
You should have received, oh, I'm sorry, Michaeline, my apologies. I stepped on you. Go ahead.
No, got it.
There should be a letter. I think Michaeline might
Yeah,
have
there
it.
is.
Okay, and it just requires signatures, and once that's completed, we can go ahead and deploy somebody over to the auditor's office to pick that up and go ahead and complete the application process.
Make the motion.
Okay, we got a motion?
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, thank you all very much. I appreciate that. Have a good day.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, that was fast.
That's all three of them on there done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Morning. All right, so I'm here to do a bank recon update and give you guys some information after talking to State Board of Accounts. So Rhonda right now, well, the office is we're starting of March of 2024. So we have the rest of 2024, that's what State Board of Accounts said to get done as soon as possible, which when we got to November of 23, we ran into problems with things not being on the ledger. So, information needs to be put in the ledger, so when you go back to reconcile, it's there. So when we're going back to reconcile, the information that should have been put on the ledger from the daily work stuff is missing. So every day we're having to go through and check to make sure this stuff was entered correctly, so we can go back and check it off when we're reconciling, which is fine. We're doing that during the day in the office. So when Rhonda comes in to reconcile, it's there. We make sure it's there before she goes to check it off. We are doing that during the day. State Board of Accounts said, their suggestion was to get 2024 done as soon as possible. They will be back April 7th. Yes,
You said that there's a date in April you had to have. it.
April 7th. They will be back to reevaluate April 7th. They did suggest a laptop, which I told them the commissioners were not comfortable with that. I did reach out to Baker Tilly. Baker Tilly is, they're going to be able to assist the county with our reconciliations because they're currently in their busiest season of the year, busiest time of the year. They don't have existing work plan, does not provide the capacity to take on additional engagements. I did reach out to Tom Caldwell at Baker Tilly. I think we're moving along great. She gets if we're caught
Where
up with
we're at, right?
March of 24, the beginning of March of 24.
But that's just because that's what they told us to start with.
No, we started in March of 23. We have a year done. We are ahead of her till August with the ledger checking. So she can come in and just keep going. She gets about a month done every time she's here. Which is about 6 hours. And last week she was here twice. She got January and February done. So we are in March. I don't know what else you'd like to know.
So with your current personnel,
Mhm.
what's your projected timeline?
I think 2024 can be done in, well, tax season's coming up. 8 weeks tops. As long as she doesn't run into any problems in May and November of 2024, which is tax season. Does take her a little bit longer
8 weeks roughly from today, you think you'd be caught up
with
to
24.
with just 24? Okay, so that doesn't include 25.
No, you can't move forward until the year before, until the month before it's done. You can't move on to the next month until the month before it's done. You
So
just,
so what's your timeline to get cleaned up to now? I guess is what I'm asking. 4 months, 5
Yeah.
months?
5 maybe. Cause you got tax season in there. I mean, May's gone. You don't get anything done, maybe besides taxes. And then June you have settlement.
Can we increase the resources in your department to help expedite this?
Hiring someone in to come in and reconcile and. So we have our flow, we're flowing, we do this during the day to make sure the ledger is caught up. And she does this for reconciling, you stick someone else in the mix. And it's just not gonna flow, cause we don't know what they're doing, she doesn't know what they're doing. It's kind of like just shoving someone in there and being like, here you go, and you have to train them, I'd have to have Lau come in and train someone. I know there's been suggestions of putting other people in the office. They haven't been in the office in 10 years, almost 10 years. Things have changed in 10 years. It's not the same as it used to be. Money wise, cost wise. If Rhonda even worked the 130 hours she's allowed to work a month, that's top hours. She's only at $2,000 a month. That's top payout. And we're not even close to that. She's not taking that long or doing that many hours. I mean, it's physically impossible to ask someone to do an extra 32 hours a week. But she did have 38 hours on her last time card and got 3 months done in 2 weeks.
I think, look, we could put someone else in the office, I don't know. I know it's gonna create problems, because you're already saying that, but we need to get it fixed.
I mean,
How long have you been in the office?
suggesting that I think you're suggesting, that is your guys' deal. I know there is IC codes about who can be put in the office, who can be told who can put in the office, blah, blah, blah. Her thing was she doesn't want to be in the building because of conflict. That was said out of Kay's mouth. You want to send a laptop home with her? Send a laptop home with Rhonda.
That what I said? No.
In an email, yes.
No, it's not.
She
I said
asked
We need
for a
to
laptop.
hire somebody putting that off. Put it in
Who we're
a
gonna-
different room and get this done. It's been a
Space in
year
my
and a half.
office now.
Pardon me?
I don't have enough space in my office now. Where am
I
I gonna
didn't
put
say
it?
you're all, they can go in another room. I'll find a spot over there in the veteran's office.
This is my thought is. I don't have any intentions of anybody stepping on your toes or trying to interfere with what the office is. I guess my goal is to whatever we can do to get more resources. To shave some time off of your 5 month.
I did have someone offer before Rhonda offered, Katie Hoekman. She is a CPA for the North Judson Library. She does their books. She does everything there. She has a CPA. I could ask her if she's still interested in coming in part-time. Now, if we bring someone else in, the money that I was allowed for my part-time budget, I will have to have more money. I mean, I'm gonna run out of money. As of right now, I'm okay. We're gonna have to add to my part-time budget.
Well, I think that's something we can sort through. as far as getting
Right.
funding.
I just don't wanna get too
Think-
close to
You know, I'm-
not having enough.
Charlie, you think we could
Make
find
me
a way to
nervous.
sort through that?
Yeah,
Would you like me to reach out to Katie? I can do that. I can do it when I get back in the office.
Hate to stop you. I got a hand up back here. I'm just curious what that.
Just a quick question. So is it correct to say that State Board of Accounts is doing a 2-year audit this year?
Yes,
Yes.
they are doing they weren't here last year. I don't know
Oh.
why.
So are they gonna be able to finish their audit if the reconciling isn't?
No. So, but State Board of Accounts when I was down at conference told me as long as I am keeping in touch with them, which I am, that they will allow it a little bit longer.
Well, I'm gonna speculate to say the council also feels that we
That
need to
needs
expedite
done.
this.
yeah,
So I don't think we're gonna see a lot of pushback for
Mm.
funding.
right.
But I think even if we had to hire 2 more part-time people, that could help in some way. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
It's just, if it gets done quicker, it's gonna be better for everybody,
Right.
so.
Right.
Council agrees with you, sir.
I agree. It needs to get done quicker, but it's gonna take 3-4 weeks to train someone in to come in here. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, listen, it's just my 2 cents. I
Yeah.
don't think anybody here is trying to tell you how to get this done. We're
Right.
trying to provide you resources to get this done as
I-
quickly as possible.
I know.
Again,
And what's
Right.
frustrating is I asked for resources back in November of 24, and I was told you're not the treasurer yet, even though this was all known. It was all known. It was in State Board of Accounts. You guys knew it wasn't getting done. And I asked for those resources. I asked for something to be done about it back then. Before I even took office. That's why it's so frustrating.
Well, I think there can be finger pointing all day, but the fact of the matter is we're trying to provide resources however we can to help this situation. So if you have somebody that you think can do it, I know that somebody has offered to help. That has some experience, that again, they're not offering to step on your toes or run your office, they just are offering to help to try to move this along. So I think.
Give
this-
me, can I have time to look for someone else?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna ask Katie. I mean, I'm gonna call Katie when I leave here. See if she can start. I mean, you have 2 weeks for drug testing. You have 2 weeks for onboarding. It's just,
Well,
We're
it's
just trying to
yeah,
show some
yeah. And
progress.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not gonna happen tomorrow. I can't hire them tomorrow. That's not,
No, but you gotta start somewhere, so.
Right.
and I will ask, I'll ask Rhonda if she knows anyone too.
Did
She
you
knows some
say
people.
you had a couple names of people that are still willing to help in any way?
One will come in all day, the other one will come in part-time.
And they've offered to work
Now,
even
who are,
here?
we're not gonna say names.
I would say, I can say names,
Go ahead, please.
Kate and, Boo. Casey.
It's for Bula before and nobody would let me have her. They told me no. Or I'm sorry,
Okay.
Casey. We all know
Casey,
Bula.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. We all call her
Everybody knows Bula.
Yeah. I've asked for Casey before and Casey even
I
offered
just think.
And I was
you
told
better
no.
Call whoever you talk about, how
with
long.
Casey at all.
How, Casey works. So
Yeah, I know.
she'll come in part-time. There again, we're still waiting.
And she works for the school system. She already works for the county, like, system.
She
Well,
called the lady she's talking about, how long before we're gonna get some progress.
Well, this just my 2 cents. We've got 3 names that are getting thrown around. We don't know if any of them will accept at the end of the
Right.
day. I think we should pursue all 3 to try to get some movement on this. And if we need to have a couple of them work in here,
Exactly.
I think that's fine. And even if we only shave a month off of that 5-month, it's worth it, in my opinion. At this point, we just
Right.
need to.
We gotta get moving forward.
Yeah,
Is that something?
Would
you're
you like me to reach out to Casey and, Katie? I can do that when I leave when I leave the meeting.
Honestly, I think you should reach out to anybody that will come and help in any way that's
Mhm.
I mean,
has the
you have
experience.
to understand, those people are putting their name on my work in the end. So I have to be okay about that.
Understood.
Okay, it's
We're
very.
not telling you how to
I know.
run your office.
It's-
We're trying to
it's
get you
kind of
resources.
Terrifying. No, you know, to have someone
signing their name to my work that's gonna be put on an audit. But I'm willing to reach out to Casey, I'm willing to reach out to Kate if both of them come in. I mean, I've also speak with IT to make sure we have enough computers, stuff for them to work on. We have to have those.
I think even some of the folks Donnie suggested have offered to come and work in here. So they're not
Wherever,
in
yeah.
your space, but you know. Whatever we need to do, I think we need to.
But I think the first thing we should do is let Rhonda take the laptop home. I don't think there's any reason why she can't. I don't see why she can't be trusted to keep track of hours. I don't know what, I'm pretty sure IT, I know I can log into Lao and see what she's working on, how many hours she's been working on it. I'm pretty sure IT can too. I did not ask them specifically, but I'm sure they can. To keep track of hours.
And we're paying someone to say they're working and they're not.
If she's not working, if things wouldn't get done.
Charlie.
Feel like that goes down a
Exactly.
road.
Not bad.
That's the only way, I mean,
Okay, so at this point, can
Yeah,
you call
absolutely.
all the people we've just talked about, see who can help, how they can help, any way possible, try to get some movement on this.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And for funding, we'll work it out with the
Work it out.
council.
So-
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Right.
I don't think we'll be too
Yeah.
far off, but I mean, I just wanna make sure there's enough to pay everyone and have enough to cover part-time help in the fall or spring for tax.
And when you talk to them, ask them about how long they think.
Sure.
And if they need to work in here, as long as they leave for a
Yeah.
meeting, if there's a scheduled meeting.
Yeah, but the executive meeting.
Right.
or
Yep.
Thank you.
Well,
You can go ahead and pour it.
Oh, boy.
Don't want to rude.
Rachel.
No hurry. I just want to bring this and show you my business card holder.
Wow, this is really nice.
Yeah, if you wanted to see it.
Okay, and you're using it?
Yeah,
That is what?
my business card holder. If you'd like any more details about it, you can ask Mike. Thank you. Justin said I only have 3 minutes. There are no words to express how thankful I am. We're moving out of the winter season. Although I wrote this last week. Wrote it last week. That was a rough one. First day of plowing began for my department the day after Thanksgiving, and it had been nonstop up until a few weeks ago. I know most of my drivers are glad to have weekends to themselves again. For a long time, we were working 7 days a week for several weeks. With the snowfall we received this season. As the weather warms up, our department is fixing potholes, brush cleanup, log cleanup, trash crews. We're also reserving some of our gravel roads. And we'll be using the grader to add stone to a few of the gravel roads in our area. Friday we had, I wanna say it was over 30 trees down. Yesterday we had 5 or 6 down. It's been an adventure with Mother Nature lately. Tornado one night, and less than 24 hours later, snowflakes. It's great. The 2025 and 2026 paving operations. In 2025, we paved a total of 25.25 miles throughout Starke County. This total includes the 8.5 miles that was completed under phase 1 of the Mammoth paving grant. We have been reimbursed for that phase in February for about a $500,000. Attached to this report, you will find the 2025 paving operations spreadsheet. And when each section was completed, along with the amount of tonnage that was used for each section. You'll also find the 2026 proposed paving operation plan. The Mammoth portion is set in stone with the grant. Those 2 phases have to be completed this year, and there's not much left that we're gonna be able to do of our own paving. A lot of it is some of the blowout roads that we've had this season, which have been bad again. For bridges, Bridge 59, which is the one over County Road 700 South over Bogus Run. Letting will be in 2027. That's through the NOFA grant. Community crossings. So NDOT called up and said, hey, we got some extra money. If you want it, you can go for it. Because we were denied initially, but It's basically like first come, first serve. So we're getting the bid contract out. I have the draft that I approved this morning for the bidding on total road between State Road 23 and County Road 1150 East, and then 900 South from US 35 to Main Street in Aura. This is gonna be a 2-inch HMA mill and overlay with full depth patching where needed.
And that's the same road you talked about last year.
Mhm.
We just. bumped.
Yeah, we were denied the funding, but then they called and said that they had extra money. So those bids, I believe will be opened at your first April commissioner meeting. No, second April. Yeah, your second meeting in April, because it's gotta advertise. High Star Traffic Training, if you see them out, High Star Traffic, which is formerly known as GCS.
On that total road, did you have a chance to look at that spot by 700?
Yeah, and I can definitely ask them how much it would be to do that spot too. Whoever
That's
gets
a
the
good
bid.
idea when you got, much I see it, they might want.
That's pretty bad
Yeah.
right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, if their equipment's nearby and they can just move
Mhm.
it down the road and
Right.
fix that spot.
Few books or.
High Star Traffic, which was formerly known as CCS, has asked permission to train on their employees on some of our roadways, which works out good for us. You'll see, if you see High Star Traffic employees out on our county roads, please be mindful of them. Their training as well as providing us services and upgrading our roadways. We're gonna have some grooves out there. The Range Road was repainted, restriped. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
And they do that training, right?
Mhm.
So it don't really cost us nothing.
Employee of responsible charge certification. So both Emily and myself have completed our ERC basics and ERC bridge certification, and employee of responsible charge at NDOT is a required certified full-time employee of a LPA, which we are considered the LPA. Who oversees federally funded local transportation projects. They ensure compliance with state and federal regulations, and if you don't have an ERC, something happens to your ERC, you cannot get federal funding anymore. So it's very important that Stark County has an ERC. Right now, the highway department has 3. Work one employee. So I got 2 new employees starting with our department that are coming from work one. I think they're starting this week. They're going through the WEX program, the workplace experience program at work one, and will be employed for a certain amount of time. I think it's like 6 to 8 weeks. Work one provides all the benefits to these employees, including payroll, liability, everything. I mean, come on, what a better workplace experience could you have other than out at Starke Highway? That was funny.
Maybe almost made it all the way through the statement before you started.
And then I just have pictures of some of our crazy things we've had happen these past couple weeks.
Sorry with this big washout.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Does there need to be a culvert or we got like a dip in the road or what?
We live in the muck grounds of Stark County.
What it is.
This is, I forgot, I think it's 100 West.
There's probably a muskrat
North-
or something.
Right.
I'm
Thank you,
sure,
Shirley.
I'm sure that's what it was.
That's a more formal
This your new
explanation.
trailer? Is that your new trailer?
Yeah, that's the beauty that we picked up, recently. Actually, I put that influence box on the auction. Get a couple $100 out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's one thing I could say to the public, please don't dump your trash in the roadways of Stark County. I could probably, if people would stop dumping large items,
Mhm.
I could probably pave an extra mile and a half every year.
Yeah,
Because we spend so much money in disposal of campers and boats and trailers that are just left abandoned in the roadway.
When these trailers are dropped like this, do you ever work with the sheriff's department to see if?
Yes, unfortunately, there's never any identifying information on them. But if there is, then yes, the sheriff's department comes out right away on scene and they do a report. done, so,
Is this your paving plan for this year?
yes.
12 miles?
12 miles of our own, and then the next page, or one more page, that's Mammoth, and that's 9.75, I believe.
How's the berm for this year to contain the water runoff off of your pug?
Well, it's still built from last year. There's a big pad of asphalt right now where the old asphalt was, I'm gonna spread a little more and make it. To put the new asphalt on top of the pad.
Because wasn't there a failure last year? Or you kind of overfilled? They got like 7 inches of rain or something
Yeah.
unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Have you taken some measures since then to kind of help contain?
Yeah, the berm was contained last year, especially through the last round of making the public dig. It was not breached during that last round. So we went through two rounds of making folk.
On these, you think you'll be able to add anything?
Really don't like. I don't think
So
so.
like, not like full miles, but
Possibly some other smaller things. Yeah, it's gonna be tight again this year because I really wanted to start chip seal. We gotta start chip seal,
yeah.
but with us doing 25 miles of paving last year, we just don't have time to
Right.
do chip seal through.
Yeah.
So we were paving all through up until September.
'Cause there's some of them roads that probably do need chip seals. so.
Yeah, especially they do, they
Yeah.
really do. And, but that's a whole nother venture because, we're gonna have to buy a new chip spreader. Ours is, and you're welcome to come out and see the chip spreader. It is a 1980s model. And, I have money for that, so that's a discussion we can have later. But also with all the changes in my department with personnel and stuff, I invite you to come out and see what we've done with the offices. We've really revamped and moved around a lot of things and cleaned up a lot of things. Ain't that right, Rick? Say yes.
Yeah.
And you got a new business card holder.
Yeah, I got a new business card. Well, I just wanna, yeah. Thought you might see it on the claim, so
Well, sometimes you notice things like that.
I figured I'd bring it in and show
Right.
you. We'll bring anything in
Great.
that you need me to.
I heard you got a new pen too.
Yeah, pen for well, we actually upgraded our, we had Samsung tablets that we use out on the road. We upgraded to iPad, which they didn't cost anything. Just our normal monthly amount that we pay, because we use GIS and the Fleetmatics tracking system on our iPads. Find our crews throughout the day.
Mhm.
Want anything else, or can I go? Do you want me to stay, or can I actually leave? the
Doesn't
building?
any of the public have anything? Cause usually she walks out and we got something.
I will say your crew did an awesome job with all the storms the last
Yeah.
Yes, they
year,
did.
so
Thank you.
I saw them out working yesterday too, so.
Yep, it's been nonstop. That's for sure. Cause people don't realize, like, when we get these storms and stuff. Right now, we can be doing a lot, like patching potholes, berming, like, we could be doing a lot of stuff, but. When we have storms, we can put back several weeks because of all the road cleanup, log pickup and all that.
Really, we've had 3 big events in the last 10 days. 2 big wind events and then the tornado event.
Mhm.
I believe they was putting up signs late last night.
Mhm. Yep,
Thanks for everything you do.
so I can leave the building?
Yes.
Nobody said nothing, so you're good.
Guys, everything.
All right, Amy? Tom wants to be involved with this. We got a little bit off topic at the last plan commission meeting, and circled back to the beach.
Okay.
If you remember, there was a fuss last year. I kind of threw a fit and said the electric wasn't suitable. And John did go out and looked at it, and he put together some reports, which we looked at. But really nothing's happened in the last 3 or 4 months on our end. So I've asked them to come back and see if we can't, we need to at least get it to it's safe to operate. We can't have.
He was trying to move forward with it, the council stopped. not the commission.
So-
Commissioner made
Yeah,
a motion
initially
to
we
move
came
on.
to the commissioners to do the RFP and that was, I think, 17,000 something. And the commissioners approved that. And then, we went to the council and they said they didn't want us to go down the RFP path. But that's where we kind of got stuck.
John, you were out there and I hate to put you on the spot, but can you just refresh everybody's memory as to what you've seen and what needs to be fixed immediately before you go back in operation this summer?
Yes, sir. So all the equipment is decades old, from the transformers all the way to the beams. At some point, I'm not sure the history around the park, but at some point, someone retrofitted each spot with a 50-amp breaker. The way they did it was they spliced off of the current 30-amp breaker. So now each spot has a 30-amp and a 50-amp.
Well, I think we only have 14 camping spots. I think we only have 14 camping spots that have the 50-amp availability. All the others are 30. Right.
Either way,
It's 14.
those 50 amps, the wiring was not made for it, the panel boxes were not made for it. So things are heating up. From what I understand, last summer, there were some complaints about overheating of the fuse panels and the boxes. And that it's all old, and so those 50 amps are pushing a lot more pressure on already barely working equipment.
So is the wire strong enough, John?
Oh, he inspected all the wires. You did open up all the panels and inspected
They're
them.
there, there's
They
no
didn't show any
signs
visible
of
signs, but.
That's what I'm saying, is the
No.
wire strong enough to handle the 50 if they got rid
They're
of the
not
30?
made for it, no. Eventually, there's going to be a failure. But as of when I looked at it, there was not any clear signs of failure yet.
Right. John, maybe you can go over the two options, or at least the first option is just to take out those 50 amps and only allow the 30s. And then there was two other options. Maybe you can like those.
So I gave 3 options, but however, I don't know the financial side of the house, right? One of them would be to repair and replace each row at a time, you know what I'm saying? Break the cost of. But from what I understand, that's not entirely authorized, so the other option would be a complete gut and rebuild of the electrical system in the park.
Right, so the option 2, if I remember right, was about 88,000, and that's to actually replace the main electric coming in, going to those boxes so that you could handle the 50.
Who give you a bid of 88?
No, it wasn't a bid, these are,
Oh, okay.
these are
Yeah,
just
it's just an
very rough
estimate.
estimates,
Yeah,
but we still gotta get back to that point where we go and get an RFP and get an official number. Because otherwise we don't have anything to work forward on.
So one of the questions I asked Tom after the planning commission meeting was, what's the ROI on this? What's the return on investment? And if we're gonna put $250,000 worth of county money, I'd like to know, are we talking a 5-year return? Are we talking a 10-year return, or is it never gonna return?
Well, at one time, and I don't know, Amy might touch or Tom, if they do add, fix like, say, the first row first, they was gonna add 2 or 3 more campsites. So right there, what's a campsite?
3,100 for a season.
31 per campsite, so there's 10 grand there. And I don't know how much for the whole year, you know, right, makes off.
I think in order to get us going this season, if we at least went down the path to see if we can get to that 88, it's under 100,000, to be able to make it safe. And everyone's satisfied that it's safe, and then do the big overhaul maybe a year or 2 later to where we can split that cost. That's at least, and that's just my perspective. I don't know that the park board is, looked at all of the issues because we kind of got stuck on the funding.
All right. And now it's ready to go.
So,
Yeah, this isn't starting, or it's getting there.
you know, my only concern if we did 88,000 or 90,000 or 100,000, I just don't wanna go backwards in a couple of years and say, well, we're gonna rip out half of what we did.
Right. Well,
So,
that'd be a question for John, because you put those two options together. Could option 2 be the first step of completely doing the
I
overhaul?
don't know that because I don't know the SBOA's rules on splitting a project. It was essentially what option 2 was doing one part of the park and then a year later doing the other part of the park.
Right.
you're still doing the whole park, it's just breaking it up. From what I understand, that's not legal, so it's either all or nothing.
I would think it'd be legal.
I would think for step one, we should get an electrical contractor out there to take the 50s out and put 30 amp breakers in.
That way
Which
they
is-
could at least function.
Yeah, so there wouldn't be any safety hazards. Now, that shouldn't be very expensive at all. But
That was his first option.
Yes.
I think that was like-
50 amp.
What was that, like 17,000 or something?
However much it cost for.
You just have to get bids on.
Yeah, we can just, yeah, we don't have to look at an RFP for that.
and I don't think that would limit, who could stay there, because you can run a 50 amp camper on a 30 amp system. You just can't run everything in the
Yeah,
camper at one time.
And I think most campers have the ability to switch between 50 and 30, so we could require any of the campers to switch to 30 and make sure that they do that too. That's, I guess, an option too, if we go that route.
But if we're gonna, let's just say we get past this, we get the breakers fixed, so there's not a safety issue today. If the council ever came on board with it and we created a $250,000 budget, I'd still wanna know, are we looking at 5 years, 10 years?
Right.
Well,
Can you try to figure that out, Amy, when you get a chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, and it's not like we haven't, I mean, we've kind of forecasted this, because we raised the fees for the campground, and we raised the fees for the boat slips in anticipation of being able to put this money aside to be able to do longer term funding.
Sir?
Just thinking about some things out loud as one council person, because I will say that there's a variety of different opinions. I mean, there's been some that have been from the council been throwing it out about just making it primitive. I've had a lot of things going on with the park since we took it over, and I'd like to see it advance. So one of the things I was thinking about is maybe the commissioners would consider approaching the council about a loan from one of our funds that are allowed to be paid back into. One of them I was thinking about might be the solar account. And I'm just taking 250,000 as a high end, but let's say if it was 250, and let's say if she could afford 50 out of her budget each year to pay with residual dollars that she has, or maybe even more, but let's just say if it was 50, that would be a 5-year return back to those funds. I mean, those funds originally, we decided we wanted to do economic development with those people that come and stay at the campground, they spend money locally, things like that. They participate in activities, and whatnot. I think one of the bigger problems from the council was paying 15 to 17,000 for an RFP when those that are on the council, some have experience with projects, and I think that should just be a quote. I know that's been difficult. I will say that personally, and I didn't do this out of turn, I spoke down about this, I spoke to Bussy Electric. I know that they had been approached before, but they're interested, in knowing that, we really do want to do this, and deciding, how we can move forward. Maybe they might be interested in bidding it also, which, is from Starke County. But the one thing is that Corey said he was gonna do was talk to some NIPSCO guys, because it's bigger than this. Like, there's a couple of different ways, like, one way would be to meter at the site, which he doesn't think that would be how it would go, is that the park board would have to actually be billed for the sum, and they would be the meter readers, and they would need to read a meter on each, and so I mentioned this to a couple of council people, and they're like, well, what does that do for staffing? Are they gonna ask for more staff just for, so like, those things would have to be ironed out too, because I don't know how that would be received if, if the commissioners requested this loan. But then on top of it, having to change personnel to be able to read these meters. Now, the meters are more advanced now, so then you read them with a tool. It probably doesn't, you probably ride around in a golf cart or something and read each one.
And it's small enough, they might even be all transmitted back to the beach house or something. I mean, you may not even have to drive around.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth, I'd love to have that
But
product.
as a resident and taxpayer, and a county asset, something that we own, I think it's an investment to do that. I would say do the whole thing in one shot. Too many times we've waited, or we've split things up, or, a project today that costs $1 million, now it costs $10 million, things like that. We know we need it. And if there's any campers here, I'm not meaning to offend anybody. But also this will help maybe energy conservation, because people won't leave their air conditioners. I'm not saying they do, but I'm saying they could literally leave their air conditioner on all week while they're not there. And that's coming out of Amy's budget. So, that may also drive for energy conservation, and hopefully the community would see a benefit to that, to see that, energy waste is, being curbed by doing that. So my suggestion would be, as a possibility just amongst you to think about would be a loan from the county. Like I said, solar comes to mind, and then, we can make loans from, the rainy day fund that requires a supermajority, though that may be more difficult, but that can be paid back then, essentially from her budget, so. Not
And if
trying,
they-
not trying to stick my nose into, where.
And if they run the air conditioner more, she could charge them more.
Sure, yeah, some may.
Yeah, park board has never been opposed to run individual meters to the campsites, we just didn't never had the funds to do it.
But I think it's a reduction in the value to the community on it if we think about moving it all back to primitive.
I think that's the craziest thing. I've
That's,
ever heard.
to me, that would
Oh,
work.
I think for short term, they should get a quote from local folks or whomever.
Yeah.
To switch the breakers from 50s back to
Mm,
30s.
So they
we're
can
safe
function,
this
when do
summer.
you open, April
April
first?
1st.
Yeah.
So gotta get on that, that'll function this year, but then move forward. But,
Yeah.
and I know we talked about this, Dave, I still think we need an RFP, not that the 17 grand we can chop around and get it.
Could we, so last year when we brought the RFP to everyone's attention, we really couldn't afford it out of our budget because it was the end of the year, we incurred extra renovation costs. All this to say, we're at the beginning of our year now, we could probably,
Yeah, cause
Yeah,
last
RFP
year,
for budget.
what the council denied us on was an additional allocation out of our own funds. We didn't ask for additional
Yeah, you
funds
had
from the
the
county.
funds.
We had the funds, we just needed an additional allocation to be able to do the RFP.
Well, have you guys contacted any big electrical companies to see what they'd
I've
like
met
us to do?
we've met with at least 5
Okay.
electricians.
And most of them all said that they wanted to have an RFP to be able to follow.
To quote it.
They didn't want to just kind of willy-nilly quote something.
We only got one bid.
For the whole project?
Yeah, out of
Because
those
we
5,
have-
because no one else wanted to
I
bid
think-
with them.
I think you can get that, but you're gonna shop around just like a bid, you know what I mean? Ask them what they'll charge to do it and get it under.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm totally agree with Dave, 17 is way too much.
Who
But-
was that bid from? Do you know
For the electric,
the whole project?
Live Oak,
Oh, they quoted the whole thing? Do you remember roughly what that was?
yes, I do.
Okay. Was it around what we've just been talking about?
Mhm. I would say,
I was gonna say.
Yeah, because we do have to bid it all
Okay.
out. Then it's advantage.
That's kind of funny.
yeah, I know,
Yeah, I talked to her last.
the same thing.
And that's just something we we're trying
Live
forward.
out of
Kind of got stuck.
Live Oak
Yeah.
electricians.
You don't like the
Elect-
amount on.
I think
Amy.
today.
You don't want the amount on. the-
No,
Yeah, don't
nope,
put them.
just put the who the electrician is.
I think for today, we need to get the breakers.
Maybe two.
That needs to be priority before the season kicks off.
Yep.
We can get a quote for that.
And that should be, I mean, that should.
And ask them how quick they can do it.
We're-
We still keep looking for RFP.
Yeah, did you have an estimate on the hours
Well, at least
to
get-
do that? I don't remember.
Yeah,
the report
Since
said.
all the electricians like Dusty now, who would you recommend to get one?
It's not just that, it's there's a lot of outdated code. Right, so part of that cost is when they're rebuilding it or fixing it, it has to be built to current code.
Right.
Which is gonna incur a lot more cost,
Mhm.
cause you can't just replace the wiring and the breaker, right? Now you have to replace the panel, now you have to replace the transformer, everything has to be brought up. to code, which is gonna increase the man hours and the cost.
I think we lean towards, like Dave was saying, and get this, we'll get it started, like Mike's saying, get your breakers changed. But then be ready as soon as you close next year. But come up with that price like Mike's asking, how long will it take you to repay? You know, out of your budget.
5 years is pretty reasonable, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
They
And like I say, they
justify-
can add 3 at least, maybe 4.
They might be able to justify it even with electricity charges.
Yeah.
Cause
Oh,
people,
yeah.
like Dave said, people will
Yeah.
automatically cut back.
Yeah,
if
exactly. Oh, yeah,
They're
you
seeing
know it.
fees for that.
She's gonna save 10 grand a year just on electricity.
Yeah,
So
for
that's
sure.
gonna be able to go towards that payment too.
All right, well, let's keep it going,
Yeah.
sir.
I have a concern. Okay, somebody bumped up the breakers. And regardless of what you guys do, what are we gonna do down the road to stop someone from taking out the 50 and putting a 60 in.
Well, actually, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amy, here, when these things got amped up to 50, it was before the park board's time. So that was done by whoever individually leased, I believe, the property
No.
from the county. So that was kind of when the park board took over, that was the existing.
You could put that in your.
Yeah, that, it wasn't the
Keep
park
them with
board
the
that
lake.
did that.
Have that right.
It kind of already is, everything,
Okay.
I've changed the lease to now where everything has to go.
Perfect. Sounds good.
It's a good start for today.
Yeah, and you can get moving.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, John?
Yes, sir. I'm here on behalf of the planning and building department, to discuss Mr. Biz's, costs associated with Dunn's Bridges. I have his latest fee schedule, for what he's done with me so far.
What is it?
This is his fees for dealing with the Dunn's Bridges, the denial of their permit. We're given a budget that lasts through the 12 months, that's no more than the cost of his contract for the 12 months. We can currently pay him out of that, but that budget will be empty within the next 2 months, at a rate of $2,600 a month per month. For this.
I think this has been a standing relationship, even with, Justin had to work extra on solar projects. I think there was extra costs that were incurred. Is that?
Yeah, in the economic development agreement that you have with each of the solar companies, it talks about remittance to the county. For up to X amount of dollars per project, for work done on the project. Sometimes even in the case where the project has gone through the initial phases of approval. There are some extra costs that are incurred, and it's been a pretty good working relationship. This is a couple of years ago, of course, but a pretty good relationship with the companies where. Attorney bills the county, county turns around, bills the company gets it the fund and pays that to the attorney, so it doesn't.
So
Yeah,
the
there's no
solar
issues
pays
there.
back the money.
As of a few years ago, it was a good relationship and that's how it worked. I'm not sure if, I'm sorry, is this Dunn's Bridge you said? I'm not sure if Nextera would still consider that, but that's the way it was done up until 2023.
Is this the planning commission's attorney? Is that who we're talking about?
Yes,
And what's his name again?
Nathan Biz, BIS.
Oh,
Biz.
Biz.
So anytime there's a situation that comes up with these companies, the attorneys on our end can rack up a lot of hours. Working on the project just to make sure the Ts are crossed and Is are dotted. So we can get a lot of extra costs. Now, it's not our attorney's responsibility to just consume these costs because they work for a fairly minimum wage to handle daily stuff. And he may have a lot of hours wrapped up in this, so that's why there's an extra cost involved.
If I were you guys, I would open that line of dialogue with whichever company he's incurred the fees on, not on behalf of, because that's
Right.
the wrong term since you're his client or the planning commission is, but say attorney fees that the county has accumulated, ask them to remit it to the fund, which we set up a few years ago to hold. And hopefully they don't have an issue with that.
Is there money in the fund now, John, or not?
We
I thought you
don't
said
have
you
that
had-
fund.
Oh, I thought you said you had.
No, we have a legal fees fund that we're
You said-
currently paying out of.
2 months or so you got.
Yeah, we have about 2 months.
I mean, we've always done it, although we're not.
Well,
Accountant.
what he's worried about is he could pay this out of his attorney budget, but it's gonna drain his
Yeah.
budget.
I'll be empty.
Way premature.
Yeah, I think we'll go move forward with it and reach out like Justin
Yeah.
did. Say, here's what the bill.
Yeah.
They've always done it that way anyway.
Mhm.
I just wonder what account we're supposed to take.
There is a solar expenditure fund that we set up a couple of years ago. Michael, and this might have been before you stepped on, might have been one of the last things.
No, we
set.
set,
Was
yeah.
it maybe right when you stepped on it? Just
Makes sense.
What, do you remember that account? You might.
Yeah, there is an account for that. It's like that. It's some kind of. a
Yeah,
fund
it
that
was
goes in.
easy to audit. You know,
Yeah,
you can see everything going in.
Do you remember what it was called?
I think that's what it might be called, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Solar Expenditure and Receipts Fund.
And there is money in there.
Enough to cover this?
How much is it?
$2,329.50.
And this is the minimum amount, depending on the results after April, it might ramp up considerably.
There's enough going on.
That's what we just, so let them cover it, cover it out of that.
Yeah.
I hate to drain his funds and then we have to
Right,
put fund back
right.
in it anyway, so.
Yeah, if there's already a fund set for.
So we need probably a motion
Yeah.
to pay that.
I'll make
Got a motion from Donnie.
I'll second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Who wants to sign one of these?
No, I'll get with Michaeline after the meeting. I think we just have to do a voucher. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, James.
Gwen?
Yeah. Oh, Mike, before he leaves though, the one thing too though, is there could be some feedback from Nextera. It just depends on what it's being used for. If it's being for used for something adversarial, they, you know what I mean? Like there may be some.
It is being used for litigation, looking at the company.
So. Justin, do you think that there may be some issues behind that?
Oh, I'm sure they don't want to pay any more into the fund. It sounds like Michaeline said that there's money in the fund to pay it.
Yeah,
currently, so we
because
don't
that
have to
money's
solve it.
for them. I'm just saying that you mentioned the future, this is the, I wouldn't expect that since they would, if they're a litigant. That they're gonna pay for money to have something brought against themselves.
Well, right now, it's not.
Yeah, we
Right now,
don't
it's
need
just
these
discussion.
matching, right?
Well, I mean, but we're not in litigation
Right,
right
not yet.
now, it's just discussion.
Yeah.
Just saying, just,
Right.
you know, just thinking about the future, I just don't want to use misinformation, that's all.
Okay, good morning. I'm here as part of the America 250th Committee, and we're having an Arbor Day celebration on Saturday, April 25th, out at the Starke County Forest. I met with Sheriff Jack Rosa on Friday, and he's always wonderful to work with, so I actually wasn't even thinking when I went to him first that I should come to you guys, and I apologize. What I'm wanting to do, or what I'm requesting for the board of the 250th Committee is we're limited on parking. And I was working with Kathy Benko, and she was super great to work with too. However, they're already having an event at the Washington Township Community Center that weekend. So my request to you is if I could work with Sheriff Rosa and the Highway Department, and of course you guys, to see about putting out road close signs just in these areas. Jack, of course, said that we would need to keep one lane open for emergency vehicles. We could work with a highway garage to get signage. I had a suggestion from someone that sometimes traffic control.
Yeah.
They will donate a flashing sign to make it more visible. Now, this event goes from 9 to 1. So I would be requesting to do this from like 8 to 2, so that the vendors had time to set up, clean up, that type of thing. But yeah, that would be my request.
So if you block that road, you gonna have a park on there then?
Yes, that would be parking. I'm sorry, I should have made that clear. I would have people there directing traffic to park so that it stays in the one lane like it's supposed to. And if you guys were to give this consideration and possibly pass this, I would also be going door to door to the property owners to explain to them what's gonna be taking place that day as well, so everybody's on board.
Yeah.
So, we don't want any, problems with that, of course, so.
I'll have someone at each end.
Correct.
Stay down there for the day.
Yes, I would like, to put a road closed to through traffic, local traffic only at 10:25 and 1100. But then at 9:50 and 1200, road closed ahead, just so they have twice to see that something's coming up. So I don't want any kind of, any injuries or anything like that.
Would this be up to the sheriff's department to organize these closures?
Well, Jack and I spoke in length and
Highway Department, a pretty, significant amount of time to do this, so it may, yeah, we will help in any way we can.
And you don't see any,
I don't see any problems at all.
okay. I don't have an issue with it.
I mean, especially got enough people out there. so-
yeah, there'll be a lot of people there. Yeah.
So you just need a motion from us to close that road down
Yeah.
to one lane, basically, right?
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it would be
8 to 2,
correct.
yeah.
8 to 2, yes. And then, of course, like I said, I'll start working, if it passes, I'll start working with Rachel. She could possibly put it on their Facebook page to give people a heads up as well, and,
Sure.
okay, I appreciate that. And Sheriff Rosa had said too that we can have some extra patrols out there that day, as long as there's no other emergencies, of course, in the county, so, something that all of us can work together on for sure.
So is that a motion, Charlie?
I'll make that motion, yeah.
Sure.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I appreciate that. And just to give a quick plug to the America 250th Committee, they do have a Facebook page. It's called Starke County Celebrating USA 250th. And we have several events planned throughout the whole entire summer. They will be, non-political, non-campaign type things, because this will be America's 250th birthday celebration. So it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
We also, Amy knows we're working wherever Amy went, working with the Parks Department. They've got a tea party coming up out there. So trying to get everybody working together with things. And I appreciate your time, you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.
These three guys don't normally sit over here. I gotta think they're here for a reason.
Oh, the only thing I want to bring up is, we got a, X-ray machine at the other courthouse, and we got that gifted to us by the local sheriffs. And so that's not quite operational yet, but eventually, within a week or so, we'll have it up and running. And then we'll have come up with the procedures of who has to go through and all that. But I just want to let you know that, Marshall County gave that to us, and we're very happy to have it. It's really good enhancement to the security of the older courthouse.
Oh, great.
The
reason the jail's here is we received our vehicle that the council and the commissioners approved last year. We wanted to bring that vehicle up just so you guys can get your eyes on it, so you know what you purchased. We're doing the same thing with the council, give them an opportunity to see what they approved. Kind of explain the difference. I think you'll be able to notice pretty rapidly how this is different than just a regular passenger van.
You got it out here today?
It's out here ready to go.
Great.
Finish our questions.
Anything else?
Oh,
You wanna go?
No, I'll go next.
Real quick, I'd just like to invite you, when Rhonda is here, to come to my office and actually see what has to be done. That's an invite from me to you guys. I appreciate it. You guys wanna come, watch, much as well.
What days is she here?
She usually gets here about 4:30.
Every day?
Yeah, I can let you know when she's coming.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
asking.
yeah, absolutely. I can do that.
Yes, sir.
So just two things. One, with my seat as a member of the Economic Development Foundation. I don't want to usurp anything that Mikey may have already presented. But I've been seeing a lot of different things flying around on the internet about skill. So I just want to, and in addition to anything Donnie might have shared, but I just came from a skill meeting just a little bit ago as well. So just wanted to update you because I think there's some misinformation. So skill itself is not being killed. Skill, has always, like the LL is lifelong education. So lifelong meant from K all the way to death, essentially, that we would try to, educate people. And the idea was, obviously the schools, being involved when they can, but then for adult education, welding and other things. But as the community evolves, are there things that we need to training? Consequently, there's all kinds of great things happening right now with the manufacturers that are located here, discussions of expansions, but partnering with training. But skill is not dying. Skill is going to become a vehicle for adult education. So the name is staying. Skill was always a committee that was based under the foundation. So just for the public also, but for the commissioners, some years back, the commission at that time had requisitioned a study to see how Economic Development Foundation could be more effective. And one of the key elements of that was to look at the director and the staff. And at the time, not the commissioners, but those that were conducting the study had decided that too much time was being spent just on skill and not enough on the efforts of economic development. So it was never said that they should split apart and be two separate entities. Skill has always been a board or a committee under the foundation, fully overseen by the foundation. But the idea then was to go that route. And I think in successive leadership and directors that we've had on the board, they've been geared more towards that, supporting when they can through the oversight of that board, focusing on themselves and the staff focusing on that. And so just so everybody knows, it's still going to survive. We have a workforce development committee that's within the foundation that will be overseeing the adult program at Skill. There's still a partnership. So the other program that was the K through 12 program is what they call CTE. And so that's something that's more state funded and connected to the school themselves, but there's going to be synergy. Like we're going to have adult automotive program that'll overlap. And when they're not using the skill building, the adult program has access to that. we hope that things will continue to grow and we may look for a partnership with the county on that. Maybe to add things onto the existing building. The foundation still is gonna own the building. You know that we went through the steps of talking about, helping with the rent because of the shortfall due to Senator Rollback one that the school's gonna have. So like I think the wheels are really meshing here, the gears are meshing, things are moving forward. So a big thank you again to the commissioners, but just in case any of your constituents are asking, it's not dying, it's actually becoming enhanced. Still gonna work very closely with CTE, but they're gonna go down their own path. Adult program is gonna be on its own path. They'll be completely in parallel and work together. So there's no angst, no anxiety. I just think that maybe kind of out internet land, some things were heard and some of it was incomplete. So just so that is, hopefully your faith, if anything was waning, is restored hearing that. But if you have any questions, I'd like to answer those for you. If not that Mikey couldn't, but I feel like, even her position is a board-led position. And so as a board member, I'm here, to answer those questions, not putting her feet to the fire and putting her on the firing line. I'll take that, for whatever people take at the meeting, but I definitely want to answer any questions you might have.
I'd just like to, talk on that, because that was never done by the economic development. They had never wanted to, separate skill or nothing. The superintendent of our schools wanted this to be done. So that's why it was split to CTE. It was not the economic development.
Yeah, to Donnie's point, right now CTE is heavily automotive, but through their programs, what's interesting though is that because you track, those things are in track programs. Like one of the things I asked them, just to throw it out there, is how would you do a meat cutting program? Well, the high schools already have an ag class. They already learn about the anatomy of animals, muscles, bones and things like that. So they have the base of that. But what I learned by working with the superintendents is that they can modify those courses and add some modules to those courses that might be how to cut meat, or how do you do those kind of things, or if it was other industry related to animals, they can customize some of that too. And so to Donnie's point, this is driven by the federal government and the state government too. It's not even county government that pushed this, but those two government entities said, let's go back and support what we consider more blue collar type jobs. And we want the school to get back involved with that, because schools had divested from a lot of that. And a lot of it was because they weren't getting the funding for it. It wasn't that they didn't want to do it. So they didn't have the instructors, they didn't have the resources. Now they're getting those back. And to Don's point, so they're gonna focus on that, on that age group. But I feel like moving forward, there's still other opportunities to customize that based on the type of students that we have in Starke County, or based on the type of industry, and start to incorporate some of that. And so the foundation will still work with that, because the foundation is the conduit between business and the CTE program, or the commission and local businesses. So there's still going to be heavy lifting that's going to happen in the foundation. It'll be through the workforce development committee. We already had somebody from industry that asked to join that committee, which is exciting for us because there's going to be more input. So rather than, some of the things I've seen on the internet where the community isn't excited about the foundation and excited about where skill's going, I just want to let everybody know there is a lot of excitement. There's a lot of future there, and there's a lot of ways to support, industry in our community. Number one is ag. So, there's ways to develop that, work together with that CTE program. And, obviously if we had something that opened tomorrow, we have adult people that need to be trained very rapidly. Those are the things the foundation is working on. Mikey probably mentioned it in her report, but through workforce development, she's got a bunch of new contacts where she's working with groups to bring different kinds of office training, hands-on practical training and other things too. So this is just the start, but I'm excited and very grateful to the commission and the council for your support. The money's going to be spent very wisely.
Thank you.
And then there was one other thing, Mike. You were researching about, because I was talking to Rick still about getting the bison put out. I haven't had much success in looking at an enclosure. Some of the companies that make them feel like, I might have environmental issues of it getting moist inside or
hot.
Yeah, hot,
Yeah.
and maybe baking it, like just a lot of things could happen. So I was talking to Rick. And I think Rick feels check the cameras we have, but even maybe getting a more sophisticated camera
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of talked about at 1.2,
Yeah.
was get a good camera on it.
Yeah, so like, now that the weather's starting to break, I'd also like to bring Melba in and talk a little bit about the interior, some of the things for the interior and the design there. Like I said, Rick had found us a table to place the torch on, and then the idea of building around that wall where the elevator's at, hanging some things, putting some things on the table. I think it's gonna be, an exciting opportunity, and coupling with the 250th, but showcasing our courthouse. And I guess the question I have too is, will that kind of become like a park asset, that area too, with the benches and the buffalo? Is that like incorporated with the other one, or I guess that might be something to think about too on how we, but I think probably, well, I'm at a dead end with the closure too, because I said I would look, and if they're just,
Heat was the biggest thing I was coming up with, is it was gonna just end up being too hot.
yeah, or it could turn into a magnifying glass depending on how the light
Right.
refracts to it,
And all the other counties, they're not.
Yeah, there's,
But-
yeah.
Well, if we got a camera and we put up a sign that says, for vandalism will be prosecuted, Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Dave, I just want to invite you to, with the 250th committee, I can let you know when the next meeting is, and if you want to incorporate the buffalo unveiling into one of the 250th events, I'm sure you're.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I would have to defer to the commissioners, but I think it's a
Right,
great
but yeah,
idea, yeah.
I'll send you guys an email with their contact information.
Or it's an opportunity too, just for spring, like opening the courthouse for the spring too, like just,
Right.
we've got a beautiful courthouse too, but
Right.
yeah, it's an opportunity, so.
Fellas,
I don't have.
I don't have any.
I do, election signs
Oh,
out of the courthouse.
yeah, that was brought up.
Do we wanna create an ordinance?
Yeah. Put something together with that.
Sure, yeah, a couple of years ago it got brought up, and I think the commissioners kind of said, come one, come all, but if you guys saying you want an ordinance to defray that.
Yeah,
And I think that.
as long as we have that done by the next meeting, because early voting starts after that.
I know Bernie, that's on top of it every election, she wants to know whether we would have passed one.
Yeah.
Well, I said, we should, it looked horrible. and all.
Sure.
All, I'd say all county properties at least,
Yeah.
I'll get you something then before your next meeting, so you can vote on it.
I
Yeah.
think that'd be a good idea. All right, anything else?
Oh, that's it. Cool.
We got a motion?
I'll
I
make
got
a
a
motion.
motion, but maybe everybody gonna walk out and look at that van at your public one.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make a motion. Yeah.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What kind of covers that you got for the bed? What kind of covers that you got?
That's the rock country.
Okay, I think a rough country,
That's what it is.
the rough country one, that's what I've seen people talking about on the internet, is it?
You know what? We have two now.
Yeah.
We have one on the black one, and that one's been on for over a year, and then one on the red one, they're identical. Nothing. I mean, they're dry as can be.
I heard it's the only soft one that stays.
What I love about it,
We brought in like.
they